In the NBA, two guys around the league. Who you got at number 5? We're going to put them on the board right here.
I want to start with the young, talented players in Philly, Embiid and Simmons. Both guys are exceptional at getting to the basket. Embiid has to stay healthy. And you think about Simmons, he really has to work on that jump shot where he can make shots from 16 to 18 feet out. We know how well he finishes around the basket. Embiid is so talented, can go either way, finishes great at the basket, but think about Simmons, how well he passed the ball. He's such a good facilitator. And that Philly team, with having so many good players around them, a team that's going to do well this season.
I think a little bit more playoff success, you'll have them higher on your list probably in the future. So
I will, exactly. Still young.
What do you have at 4?
4, I know everyone's going to be looking at me crazy right now. I have the Splash Brothers.
What?
Yes.
They are the best shooting backcourt in NBA history.
But they lost a key piece in KD. So right now you talk about two guys that are exceptional, knocking down shots from the outside. Clay finishes well at the basket. Steph is so great off the dribble, knocking down shots from the outside. But the two of them, they play well because they know each other well. When you have two great shooters, they play off one another. And then you still have Draymond Green, who is a facilitator of both of these guys, who are excellent at running down the court. And they're going to find them. They're going to find him when he's open. He's going to find those guys. He's such a great passer. But just how they play off one another, and probably the best duo that plays without the ball in their hand. Always cutting, getting to the basket, making layups in the half court, but we know that lights out from the three-point line.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprising one as far as how low. There better be some good
But every
people.
once in a while, your window will close, so maybe that window is closing for them right now.
Okay, number 3, who you got?
Number 3, I like the guys that just signed last night. We're talking about Kawhi Leonard and PG-13. Two long, athletic guys. Both of those guys are exceptional at playing defense on the perimeter. And you talk about two guys that are shot makers that can take over a game at any point in time. And we just saw what Kawhi did with Toronto Raptors, how he was able to beat this Golden State Warrior team, the Philadelphia 76ers. And PG-13 was also in the MVP hunt, but another guy that can make shots. And now they can rely on one another, and they have such great depth around them. And that's what's going to make this LA Clipper team one of my contenders.
Oh, yeah, well, I tell you what, the advanced stats guys are going to have a field day with you because these two, some of the most efficient offensive and defensive guys in the NBA, maybe there's an argument that they should also be a little higher, but who do you have?
Could be, but they have a 2-time champion and have a guy that hasn't won a championship. My number 2 would be KD and Kyrie. Both of those guys are the best shot makers, especially with the ball in their hands. We know they can make threes from the outside, and Kyrie is a champion in himself, and KD is a 2-time champion, 2-time Finals MVP. So we know what he can do when he gets back to form. And yes, he had a devastating injury, but KD can take over a game, and Kyrie, both of those guys are able to take over a game at any point in time. But just that they want to play one another. There's nothing better than two guys that are great friends. They're happy, and when you put those players on the court, they can compete at a high level. And like I said, both of those guys are champions.
Playing devil's advocate, looking at the defensive side of the court, and you're 3 and 2. How much did you factor that into the equation?
I did, but at the end of the day, you got to go with what you think is best. And I like I like my 2 and 3, and I like it because one duo has 3 championships, and the other one has 2.
I think you just like the bucket getters. That's what I think.
I love guys who put the ball on the floor and create opportunity for themselves as well as their teammates.
All right, let's reveal your number 1 spot. Who you got?
Well, I'm going with a Kentucky guy, of course, AD, which I hate to say this, but LBJ. That guy is so great at being a facilitator, but just being able to take over the game at any point in time. And if AD stays healthy, he is a difference maker. He's a top 5 player. He can knock down shots from the outside. We know how he finishes at the basket. He also protects the rim, and he gives LeBron another player that he can trust. And when you have a player that you can trust, it means a lot to a guy who's won championships himself.
So looking at your list, just got a question for you. Giannis, Chris Middleton. What about those two guys, all-stars in the East? MVP.
If they were the top 6, they would be the 6.
Gotcha. Very close. Tony Delk, we love your top 5 duos in the league. Love being a duo with you right here on NBA TV.